Are we rolling? We're good?
Yeah, that's all making it, too.
All right, welcome back to the BotchPod. The BotchPod. The BotchPod. The BotchPod. The worst podcast in the world. Welcome back to the BotchPod, the worst podcast in the world. First off, I want to apologize for my voice. A little bit sick, just getting over a cold, so I apologize if I cough or something. Dan, I feel like the viewers might want you to talk a little bit more than me on this one, but today we have QB1 from the University of Buffalo, Cole Snyder. Welcome, buddy.
Appreciate you guys having me on. I love how you guys start the podcast off with the worst podcast ever, every time.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
It's a good marketing tactic, I feel.
Yeah.
It intrigues people, I feel.
Yeah, we get a lot of guests that say that, too. They're like, it always throws people for a curveball.
Yeah, like Tommy was thrown off by it.
Yeah, he's like, what did I just get myself into?
Heem even said something the one time. It's funny, though. I mean, it works. Because there's a lot of people who think they have the best podcast. And, we're okay with knowing we're not the best ever. There's a lot of flaws. In fact, the episode that just uploaded today, there was flaws.
Yep.
A lot of them, which we're still getting texts about. But it's neither here nor there. Let's get into this. Welcome, Cole. How are you?
Never better.
Kicking ass.
Yeah.
Taking names.
Congrats on a great season.
Appreciate it.
You guys just, my voice is struggling right now. What was the bowl game you guys just played in?
Camellia Bowl.
Camellia Bowl. You guys just won. And I saw you fucking hurdling people like Josh Allen out there.
Yeah, I had to pull my best impersonation out. I'm not sure when he did his first hurdle, but I'm going back to high school. I can pull up footage of my hurdle. So I'm not going to say I'm the first quarterback to hurdle someone in Buffalo, but maybe did it before Josh Allen.
There you go.
I like that. It's a call out. I like it. Nice.
Good.
That's good.
I think that's the third. I've tried it 4 times, landed, or went over the guy 3, so.
What's your vertical?
Shoot. Probably like 30. I tested in the spring, probably like 35. I can't remember. 35, though.
So you're up there.
Yeah.
You're definitely up there.
I'm not jumping out of the gym or anything, but 35.
I mean, 35 for a white guy is
Not
pretty
bad
good.
at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to take what I can get on that one.
Yeah.
What do you think
that's
mine
good.
is?
Yours?
17.
I don't think we could slide a piece of paper under that vertical. To be honest.
Well, okay then.
Just being honest with you.
Are you wearing the Crocs, or what are you wearing when you're jumping?
Yeah, let's go with the Crocs. Yeah, definitely. 'Cause that's like
Crocs might add a little bit. I'm not.
Four-wheel drive, they might add a little bit.
4-wheel, you think?
I put them in 4-wheel.
Should I do it right now?
Yeah, do it right on camera. Try to jump on that table. Just breaks.
I'm gonna bust my ankle or something. 4-wheel.
Anyway, so
What the fuck?
I saw you were one of 3 quarterbacks to have a 3,000-yard season this year.
Oh, at Buffalo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Joe Licata, I believe, was 1, right? Or was it Tyree Jackson? Was it Tyree Jackson?
I was between those two, and then the other one I think is Drew Willie.
Drew Willie. Yeah, I know him for sure. It might have been Tyree Jackson, but that's a pretty prestigious honor, especially coming from Rutgers, where I played in like 8 games and threw for like maybe like 50 yards in a game or something like that. So just coming here and getting that opportunity is pretty special, and to do it in my first year is really cool. But I mean, we had a great supporting cast around me, so guys like Justin Marshall and Keon Williams, the list goes on. But offensive line did a great job all year, so it was just really everybody coming together and doing their part.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Did you ever have a 3,000-yard season in high school?
I threw for 2,000 my senior year, but that was it.
That's what blows my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
That you never had a 3,000-yard season in high school, but you get it in college.
Yeah, I mean, we had a head coach that was like a running back, so he was like 50-50 on the run. Like, he didn't want to go crazy to passes, but hey, if we want to throw a little bit more, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So, your senior year in high school, you left halfway through the year, right?
Yeah.
to go to Rutgers.
Yeah.
What was that like? That's crazy. I've heard of very few people doing that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty common in like the college football world,
Right.
but around here,
Especially like going from a small school to a pretty
Yeah.
big D1 school, like
Yeah.
halfway through the year is crazy.
No, it was crazy for sure. Like, I remember like talking to my guidance counselor, and she was kind of shocked by it. And then like we got everything, all my classes right, and I was able to do it. I definitely recommend it. Anybody that's like thinking about it, because you just like get 15 practices. College is like different. Like there's like certain rules and parameters that you have to follow. You play college football. So you can only have a certain amount of practices in the spring. Like you can't touch footballs at certain times. So really, if you don't go early, like your first time to touch a football, like with your coach, is training camp. And like a lot of people get to college and their first practice is like, all right, the speed is so different. The guys are a lot bigger. Like everything is just it's different, and it's a different environment. So coming from a small school where there was like 110 kids in my graduating class, the game was a lot different. But at the end of the day, football is football. So once you get over like the change in speed and the change of size of everybody, it's really the same game. And that takes different times for different people. But like I said, having those 15 spring practices was like huge for me. Even though I didn't play much freshman year, it helped me in my development like a ton. So I definitely recommend it.
Was that like the biggest learning curve for you going to college, like the speed and the size of the guys you were playing with?
I feel, yeah, definitely, because like I never really worked out in high school. Like I worked out, but not like on a real plan and like taking care of my body and everything like that you need to. I was always playing different sports. I played hockey, football, baseball. One year I played basketball when I was in 10th grade, so I played 4 sports one year. Yeah, that was a lot. So I was always going from one sport to another. And when I got to college, I realized like these guys are freaks here. Like, especially in the Big Ten, like you got defensive linemen running like 4.5 40s, and it's just crazy. So when you're not faster than a D lineman, that's when you know like you gotta change some things. So working on my body was like the biggest thing that I needed to do when I got to college. And my transformations over like my first 3 years are like incredible. Like they really are. So that was the biggest thing that I had to get used to going to college.
For sure. Do you think Rutgers helped with that a lot? Like, did they have a good kind of system in place for you specifically to not just like recover and lift and stuff, but like diet plans and stuff like that?
Yeah. So like Rutgers is obviously in the Big Ten, so they have like the facilities. I mean, they're not as like fancy as like Michigan or Ohio State, but like college football, the facilities are way nicer than they need to be. Like you look at NFL facilities and they have what they need and what gets the job done. But college is like, all right, let's just like build all this stuff that we can to like make it look like we support our football team. So it's pretty much for recruiting. So like when you see Ohio State and Michigan State's indoor facility and their weight room and stuff, like you don't necessarily need all that. You know what I mean? But a lot of it's for like recruiting. So they had everything that I needed for sure. Like the nutritionists were great, giving you diet plans. The food, like you literally go upstairs before workouts, after workouts, and there's like 3 lines of buffets. There's a woman or a man or whatever that makes food for you, like whatever they're making today, like whether it's pasta, breakfast sandwiches, all that. So you have everything you need from a nutrition wise. And then the weight room, there's like 20, probably more than 20 racks in there, 2 sets of dumbbells. So like everything you need is there for you. So it's about like getting the right guys in the room and
Did Rutgers have like a football specific cafeteria?
Yeah, it was actually like in our stadium. We had everything in our stadium that we needed, so we didn't have to share anything. There was a couple teams in there that used the training room, but as of now, when Coach Giano got there, he kind of kicked everybody out and was like, all right, this is football only. So
Nice. That's sick. Was the lifting tough? Like learning a lot of that stuff? Because you said in high school you lifted, but you weren't like on anything specific.
yeah.
I know college they're pretty strict with form and like they push you.
We had our strength coach's name was Kenny Parker, and he came from Ohio State with our head coach, Chris Ash. They both came from Ohio State after they won the national championship. And this guy would like his weight program literally felt like it was just trying to hurt you. Like he would have the lat pull down machine. You'd have to get on the lat pull down machine and say you could do probably like 120 lat pull down, like right with good form. He'd be like, all right, put 250 on. So you'd have your partner spotting you behind your back. You'd be pulling the weight. You'd get it like a couple inches down. Your partner would like help you down the rest of the way. And then like your partner was getting like the same workout that you're getting in though. So it was crazy. So it would be like pulling, and then it was literally like just to punish you. You'd have to hold it. It'd be like down for 3 seconds, hold it for 3 seconds, lift up for 3 seconds. So like these workouts were like the hypertrophy, that word, like it was crazy. So like the burn and everything was nuts. And then same thing with like pull-ups. We would do pull-ups with like 3 plates around our waist just for no reason. So these workouts literally felt like they were trying to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like strength and conditioning coaches are always like a little bit not all the way there mentally too. Like they're always nut jobs.
Yeah,
I feel like.
for sure.
I feel like you have to be
You kinda,
to be
yeah.
in that position.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Right? Like you gotta put like because like if you can't push yourself, you gotta be able to push everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta
Especially
motivate
a
people.
bunch of college kids at like 6 a.m. on a Monday.
Fuck yeah. Like I know for a
fire 'em
fact there's some days you don't want to be there, but like with that extra little boost there, I mean,
Yeah, when you got a bunch of coaches that are acting like lunatics in there, it's like it's kind of hard not to be energized. But at the same time, you're like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
right. So like that's like a good point. Like, do you think that helps? Like, because that's like I feel like a stigma with coaches. Like they're always like crazy, or at least you have like a few coaches that are, and just like insane, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, is this even necessary? But in the long run of things, do you think that's like an important aspect to have?
Yeah, I think so. Just like bringing the juice to the practice and stuff, or the weight room or whatever. But I think when you're a young guy, you're like, oh, okay, like let's go. And then once you get older, you kind of like see through it. And then once you've been there for a couple of years, you're like, all right, I'm working out for a reason. Like you start to understand why, and then it's like, all right, why are you acting like this still? Like you kind of see through it. But it's good to have some of those guys around, I would say.
Definitely, it makes sense too.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part. But yeah, sometimes I feel like it can get out of control, especially like the stuff that like we're used to seeing, because like we don't see what goes behind closed doors, especially like with your organization or anything. But like if we see something, it's obviously filmed, and I feel like a lot of people act crazier on camera.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Probably.
And they're definitely conscious about what they're putting out. So like, they might put certain stuff out, but they're not putting out like the real stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And that's every program.
I feel like it can, like, has there ever been like a moment? You don't have to name specific names, but like some like crazy shit, like freakouts or something, like coaches freaking out, stuff like that, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm actually scared. Like,
I had this one team meeting. All right, I'll go into some details about this one. So, I was at Rutgers. We started off the season. This was my last year at Rutgers. We started off the season, I believe 3-0. So we beat Syracuse on the road in the Dome. By the way, Syracuse is like the loudest stadium I ever played in. Like there was 20,000 people there, and it seats like 50 some, and it was by far the loudest stadium. Like Michigan had 110,000 played there, and not nearly as loud as Syracuse.
Really?
Yeah, because it's enclosed and everything. It's super loud. But back to the story. We were 3-0. We ended up losing a couple games, and then we played Northwestern. And Northwestern was not a great football team, and we should have beat them. And I think we needed that game to, like, we had to win out to be, like, bowl eligible or something. And Coach called us in after the game when we got home. So it was at Northwestern. We travel back. We fly back into Newark Airport, drive home. So it's late. It's probably like 11 o'clock, and it's Saturday night. So some of the guys don't travel on the to the games. There's like a travel squad, and there's like the guys that are just on like scout team and stuff. They'll stay home. He called everybody in the team meeting, and he literally, like, guys were like smelling like weed and stuff. It was bad. And I mean, so he calls everybody in, tells the coaches to get out. We had some guys that were not doing some things right in the hotel, just say that. And he tells us one guy, I don't even know if I can say this, because if he sees this, it's going to be wild. He told him, I'm not going to say every word, but he pretty much told him, stand up and fight me. So he literally told this kid to fight him. Obviously, the kid did not get up and fight him. He just stood there, and as I would not fight my head coach. And then he walks to the other side of the room. This kid had a cup of coffee. Our kicker, he just won like the best punter in the country. He had a cup of coffee. He walks over, smacks the cup of coffee, goes flying everywhere, all over the wall. He walks to the other side of the room. This guy had a jug of water, like a gallon jug. Smacks the jug of water. Jug goes flying all over everybody in the crowd. And then he walks back over to the other side of the room. And he's saying whatever he's saying at this point. And he takes a running start and runs at the podium and knocks it over. And then after that, he grabs his stuff, goes to the door, kicks the door open, and said something and walked out.
I fucking love that shit.
Like, everybody in the room was like, what just happened? Like, no one got up for like a minute. It was like the craziest team meeting. It would be the craziest meeting that I will ever be a part of. Nothing will ever top that. So
he leaves and it's like that awkward silence for like a few minutes or like a few seconds or whatever. It's like
no, like a few minutes. Yeah. It was crazy.
I feel like that's how he would be as a coach. I just feel like if you were a coach, you just said that shit fires you up. I feel like you'd be like the overbearing coach. So it was like, was that like a normal thing, or was that just like a once in a an anomaly? Like, was he always like that fired up and like that menacing?
Yeah, he was. He was very intense. Like, very intense all the time, but that was definitely top tier for him.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
He's like the most fiery coach that I've ever been around, for sure.
Okay, that's cool though. Did that like benefit though? Did anything come of that? Like, did the situation get figured out basically?
Well, we didn't win a bowl game, so we didn't go to a bowl game. So.
But did kids like stop fucking around in the hotel room and stuff?
Yeah, I think they got the message after that.
There was never an incident again after that?
No, not really. No. So if you ever want to stop a problem, I mean, guess you can go attack it like that.
Yeah. I just feel like that would be you. You're like the fucking.
It works. It obviously works.
I know, but I feel like you're always the hothead, dude. Like you would be. You would be. Like if you and I were coaches, what the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey guys, I'm gonna let this guy in a blue hoodie talk today.
Did that coach give like some crazy like pregame speeches and shit too?
So he was a big like you couldn't say anything that wasn't like about the culture. So like our culture was like 3 things, and he was very strict on the culture, and he didn't like people saying like things away from it. I remember, to your point, his speeches were pretty fiery, but they were like pretty much the same every time because he was about the culture. I remember we were playing Michigan during COVID, and I wasn't playing. Come in the locker room at halftime, and we're beating them by like 7 points or a touchdown. And I said, all right, guys, don't let this slip. Like, let's go, keep it going. You know what I mean? Because like we're up, like we just need to keep this going. Like we're playing well. Yeah. And he's like, who said that? Like everyone goes silent. I'm like, oh shit. Fuck. He's like, who said that? Was that you? And he said someone like that was next to me. He's like, no, that wasn't me. And I was like, I said it. And he's like, looked at me, wrote down on his notepad something. Whenever coach wrote down on his notepad, that's when you know it was bad.
Yeah.
So he looked at me, wrote down on his notepad, and didn't say a word to me. And he never said anything about that to me after that either. So I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. So
Yeah, right? Like, it's like a mixed signal kind of.
it is. It
It's
is.
like,
Strange.
I'm going to get my ass chewed in this next week, and then nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, but I feel like that's almost like a worse thing. Like, when your dad's like disappointed at you
Yeah,
and not
no,
mad.
You never clear it out.
Yeah. It's like one of those. You'd rather him be mad at you and just get it over with.
For sure, yeah, I understand it. Damn, coaches, dude. I don't miss that.
Yeah.
From like even I never even got to experience college.
Yeah, the worst.
I don't miss any of
The
it.
worst for me, I felt like, was like film sessions, like especially after like practice film sessions when you're like, ugh, like you just don't want to be there, and then you just get chewed. I remember, like freshman year was the worst because you're not used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did your have your coaches been like pretty cool overall, or did you get chewed out a lot?
So my first quarterback coach was like very similar to the coach that was like knocking jugs over. So he actually coached with him like before. So he was very fiery, and there's some crazy stories about him too. Like, I remember we were in a meeting, and our quarterback was struggling. It wasn't me, so at least he was playing. Like, I mean, I got to give him credit for that, right? He was struggling, and he was just like laying into him. Like, he's like, our families depend on you and how you perform, and like going in, he's like, people are getting fired because of you, and it was just like, dude, like I don't think this is the best way to motivate somebody here. Like when you have that in your mind and you go out there and try to play after that, it's like, how can you go out there and play when you're thinking about these things? You know what I mean? So like it almost was like he was like saying these wild things to like see how wild he could get. But so I feel like some coaches are like that. But I do love that coach, so great relationship with him. So, but yeah, some of the coaches are pretty fiery in my experience at least.
What was like the punishment for you guys at Rutgers if you were late to a meeting or something?
So the first staff that was there, Coach Parker, we would call it Dawnies. You had a Dawnie because you had to get up at like dawn, so you had to be there at like 5 o'clock, and then you had to like pick up all the weights and move them for no reason. You had to clean like the weight room, so you had to pick up all the weights, like wipe them off and move them. I never had to do one, thankfully. I was never late to anything. I don't think I've ever been late to anything in my college career. Knock on wood. I don't know if we have any wood around here.
Desperately looking.
But yeah, so that was it. I've only heard stories about it though. I've never had to experience it.
That's a good thing though. Like,
Yeah.
That shows that you have like your shit together, I guess.
Yeah, one time I had to work out with my quarterback coach in high school, and it was like 6 o'clock before school, and I didn't wake up. My alarm, it was like the iPhone alarm. Sometimes the iPhone alarms are weird, and slept through it or whatever. Didn't wake up. Left him hanging high and dry. He was like calling me and stuff. I missed the workout. I went and bought an alarm clock after that, and since then I've never missed a workout. So that was like my one time, and I was like, yeah, this is not happening again.
Yeah.
Smart.
I can't tell you how many times the iPhone has failed me.
Right.
It's. I
This
don't
guy's
understand.
you're the heaviest sleeper
I am
I've
a
ever
very
met
heavy
in my
sleeper
life,
though.
too.
Like I'm not proud of it, but it got so bad at one point where like I would just like sleep past everything and anything. I went online and I just typed in on Google, world's loudest alarm clock. This thing I still have it. I don't really use it that often, but it has a vibrating pad that goes under the pillow.
Oh, wow.
And it's so fucking loud. And I'll wake up to that. I will wake up to that. But like the average iPhone, like I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I am it's getting better though with age. I've noticed it is getting a lot better.
With my alarm clock, I got one next to my bed, and I got like the loud one like on my end table or like my desk. So if I get up, I'm good. But if I don't get up out of bed, I'm just gonna sleep all day.
Yeah, and that's like the worst when you wake up. Maybe I don't know, hit snooze maybe for some reason.
Right, dude. I could hit snooze for like 4 or 5 hours. I swear.
You know what the worst part is? Not like the overnight sleep, but if you're trying to catch like a quick like 30-minute nap or something, and then it turns into like so much longer because you do that snooze thing.
And then you get up and you're like, you almost feel like you're like pissed and you're
You
like,
regret
damn,
it.
I didn't get up.
Like
Like,
you fucking hate yourself.
Literally.
I don't remember hitting snooze sometimes.
oh yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm like, what the fuck happened? I had 40 alarms set.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's so terrible. That was me this Sunday for the tailgate.
Oh yeah, for the tailgate.
But I was just shy. It was a long weekend. Not enough of this.
So, what was the reason for transferring to UB?
So I really enjoyed my time at Rutgers. Had a great time. Learned a lot. I had like 3 different quarterback coaches. So obviously that's not ideal, right? You do want to get familiar with the system, but with that being said, I did learn a lot from 3 different guys. So it's like 3 different offenses almost, and then I had 2 different head coaches. So I think I had a lot of different experiences in the course of 3 years that people might have over the course of like 7 years or something like that. So I try to look at it like that. I learned a lot there, and I just transferred because I felt like I wasn't getting a real opportunity. Our offense was struggling a little bit at Rutgers, and in the spring game I did really well. Had like 3 total touchdowns. Was on ESPN for this one-handed catch that the kid made. Did well, and then nothing really changed going into spring practice. And after like consideration and talking with everybody, I was like, all right, well, now I feel like I need to go somewhere else and get someone that believes in me the way our coach believed in our quarterback at the time. And I found that at Buffalo, so thankful for that. Like Coach Mo, he told me like it's going to be an open competition. He's like, I'm not giving you anything, but you come in here and you win the job, that's on you. You know what I mean? So he trusts me, he believed in me, and like after this season, I think it's only gotten stronger. So yeah, so I'm excited for next season too. We got a couple of key guys coming in to fill some shoes. So we got a lot of talented players on the roster right now. So I'm excited for next year. Hopefully we can win a MAC championship. We were probably 1 game away this year. We lost to Ohio in a MACtion game. MACtion is crazy, messes up your whole schedule. But we lost to Ohio, and then after that they didn't lose another game. They kind of held their destiny in their own hands. So we just gotta win our games that we know we can win. So,
right.
Yeah.
How are you personally with like keeping up on everything? Like you just said, certain things can mess with your schedules big time. Like keeping up on, because obviously you're still in school, and it's not just football. How are you with that?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good because like during the football season, I'm so locked in. Like I don't really do much. Like I go out and stuff like in the off season, but during the football season, I don't really go out much. It's really just like football and school because like I'm the type of person who I have like such an addictive personality. Like if I'm doing something, I'm doing it 100%. Like if I'm resting, like I'm resting. Like I'm eating good food, I'm enjoying myself, but when it's time to work, I'm working. And for example, like right now, I just got into this new kick where like I want to go camping. So I just got some camping gear. Like now I'm 100% invested in going camping. Actually going camping this weekend, so I'm excited for that. But like that's just how I am. So during the season, I have like a good routine. Like I know what I'm doing on each day. Each day's the same for me pretty much. Like throughout the week, like Monday is always going to be a Monday. So when your schedule does change, it's just like, okay, today's Monday, if it's actually like Wednesday or something. So, but the MACtion games are weird though, because you'll play on like a Tuesday, a night game away. You'll get back at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. So that messes you up a little bit, like your sleep schedule and stuff. But You just got to get back on track. And then, like, that was my first time ever missing school during the week. I mean, you played at Edinburgh. Did you ever miss games during the week playing football?
Not when I was there. I think right after I left, they did have like some random Thursday game.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I never had to miss school.
Yeah, but like basketball and all these other sports, they play like throughout the week and stuff. I don't know how they do it, honestly. But playing on the weekend, you don't really miss any school and anything like that, so it's not really too bad. But playing during the week is kind of messes you up, kind of messes up your school schedule and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do pretty okay with it.
That's good. That's important, like balance. It just leads to like real life too, you know.
Yeah.
I like what you said earlier though about the what is it? When your decision to leave, you wanted to find somewhere where your coach believed in you or was invested in you as much as they were. Like that's just like self-realization. You're not like living in like believing that like, oh, I'm gonna have the opportunity here. Like you saw the like writing on the wall and you find yourself in a good position now.
Yeah.
You actually took the forward step. I feel like a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
That's an important thing.
Yeah, like so when I was at Rutgers, I was like, okay, I know I'm coming from like a small school. I know there's a new coaching staff coming in. Like, I'm gonna do everything that I can to like go earn this spot. And then so I really felt like I did everything that I could. Like, I balled in practice. Like, I put in the extra work, and like I really always have done that. And then at the end of the season, I kind of just looked back and noticed that like all my hard work and stuff, like I was doing well, but it just wasn't getting recognized, and they were going in a different direction. So we had this kid come in who, do you know who Quinn Ewers is? The kid from Ohio State and Texas.
Yeah.
Well, he graduated high school like a whole year early. Okay. So instead of like graduating after his senior season and going a semester early, he like skipped his senior season. So that happened at Rutgers too. And this kid came in like the second week of the season, and they started giving him like first team reps and stuff like that. And he's never been in college or went through an off season, went through any training program or anything like that. So once they did that and they started giving him first team reps, I kind of just saw the writing on the wall, and I was like, okay, like obviously you have your guy and you want to go in that direction, which is fine. Obviously, I think I earned something, but if you don't realize that, or if you don't recognize that, then I think you need to, you know what I mean? You got to believe in yourself and go somewhere else.
Definitely.
So
I
that's
feel
what.
like there's so much like politics behind the scene with that stuff. Like certain guys getting paid more.
It's
The higher ups kind of believe like, oh, why are you paying this guy? He's not playing. So the coaches feel like they need to play him, or they have to believe in him, even if he's not the best option.
Yeah.
For the team.
There's
I hate that shit.
it's one thing to get there. It's another thing to play and like have like a successful career. Like I was just talking about that with like my old gym teacher. Actually, like his son played Division I sports, and like he realized we were just talking like it's one thing to get there, but then like to beat the game with the politics and be good enough to play at that level, you know, and stay focused, and like there's so many distractions that can come at you, and it's just you really gotta stay focused and like I don't know, take your opportunity when it comes, because one thing I learned, there's no such thing as missed opportunities, because someone always takes them.
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like, how old are you?
22.
22. That like to be 22 and to be able to, or shit. I mean, you're probably even younger. To clearly you're doing something right in that aspect, because like there's a lot of people who just sit and complain and bitch the whole time. And act like they earned it, and like they may have. Yeah. But like, just to whine and like, you moved on and shit. I mean, I guess it worked out.
Yeah.
You know, so that's cool.
There's nothing like I hate more than like guys in the locker room talking about, oh, I'm gonna transfer, and then the guys that don't transfer, it's like, okay, so you're poisoning like the rest of the team right now, talking about you want to transfer, you want to lead the team, like you're not happy, like. Okay, then do it. Like, just leave. Like, if you don't want to be here, just leave. Like, someone else will come in. You know what I mean? But especially the guys that say, oh, I want to transfer, and then don't transfer. It's like, why? Like, why are you just talking? You know what I mean? So like me, I was like, I never told anybody I was transferring. I told one kid, like my best friend out there. I was like, yeah, I'm transferring. Like I already knew I was gonna transfer, but I wasn't just gonna sit there and like tell everybody I'm gonna transfer. You know what I mean? Like that's just not good for the team. So I hate guys that just like talk and are like it's like rat poison to the team.
Yeah, because then it shows that like you don't like to your teammates that you don't want to even be there.
Exactly.
Shit like that. Like,
And then it leads to them like talking shit about other players
a
and
bunch
other coaches
of drama
and,
that nobody needs.
Yeah.
just because they're miserable.
A lot of people like the drama though.
Yeah. No, they do.
That's crazy.
I feel like that's just like kind of like the world though. Like everyone likes to like tear you down, whether it's on social media or in real life. Like if you're doing something good, they want to tear you down. Like or if you're taking a risk and trying something, they want to tear you down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, in every aspect of anything you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing
Like
something different.
I'm sure like you guys starting this podcast, people were trying to like tear you down. Like, why are you starting a podcast? That you're not gonna succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
A lot of people come and go too. That's just life though, like you said. It really is.
Yeah.
It's just
Usually the people trying to tear other people down, though, have their own issues that they can't deal with.
No doubt.
the biggest bitches too.
They just wanna put you on their same level that they're on. They're
Right.
mad about their life.
Yeah, it's like, and secretly most of the time they want to do it,
Yeah.
but like they just don't have the opportunity or don't know how or don't want to do it or don't have the energy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They don't have the motivation, but whatever. That's on them, not us, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. Good for you. So like, I don't know how far into it or thinking about like your future about certain things are, but do you have any like plans, like set goals right now for like future, like next couple of years? What you plan on doing?
I was actually thinking about some goals for like this upcoming season. I haven't really thought about. I mean, obviously the NFL is a goal of mine, but I mean, to play in the NFL, you gotta perform in college. Especially me, I'm not like uber talented or anything, so I just have to perform in college if I want to go to the NFL. So like, some of my goals are like 4,000 yards. I want to throw for 4,000 yards in a season, but and I want to win a MAC championship. Like, once you like taste the conference championship, like we were right there, and we beat the team that won the MAC this year, our conference. Once you taste it, it's like, nah, I want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Once you have a taste of it, it's like, I want that. Like,
for sure.
we were close, but we didn't get there. So
Well, now when you do those, you already have like a recording of it now, and you can get somebody to make a sick edit.
Clip it.
And clip it. It's like, yeah, we made it.
Cuts into your highlights. That'd be sick.
No, yeah, that's cool. So obviously, like football and everything, you've established yourself quite decently. But what about like other things such as like branding yourself and like, because like a lot of like players in college, they have a lot more opportunities now to like just brand off, whether it's clothing or a brand, anything. You know what I mean? Have you done anything or thought about anything you'd possibly want to do?
yeah, so I actually have a website in the making. So I'm gonna create a website that just kind of highlights my brand, and I'm doing personal training right now for quarterbacks. So if you're a quarterback in the Buffalo area and wants to train, hit me up on Instagram. I am Cole Snyder. I'm also going to be launching a website soon, like I said. And like we were talking about earlier, I also want to do a podcast too.
Yeah.
I think that would be another way to branch out and kind of, extend my brand and allow people to kind of see who I am. So those things, and also getting some merch together, like some T-shirts and clothing and stuff like that. So those are the things that I'm doing right now.
Definitely.
Have you had any like companies reach out to you now with the like NIL stuff? Like totally different
That you
from
can
when I
talk
was
about.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really haven't had too many companies reach out or anything, and I haven't reached out to any companies at all. Like this first year, I was really just focused on performing because I'd never been a starting quarterback in college, and that's what I really wanted to focus on, is just like putting a good product out there. And then once that happened, like this year, now I can go after brands and try to get some NIL deals and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Kind of like the
Buffalo AF athlete in the making here.
There we go. We could make that happen for sure.
We'll see.
Buffalo, yeah.
One thing I meant to ask you earlier, was there like a huge difference between like not playing at Rutgers, but like the guys you were playing against and the guys you were playing with on the team compared to UB? Like, was there a lot of speed difference, size difference, anything?
Yeah, so the biggest thing I think is the difference between like Power 5 football, the Big 10 and the Group of 5, like the MAC and stuff, is the depth. Like when you look at a Big 10 roster, like guys, it's pretty loaded. Like people are coming in, new recruits, like 5 stars, 4 stars, talented 3 stars, and everything like that. And like the practices are competitive. Like the scout teams, the guys on scout team are like could easily like just jump on like the starting lineups and play.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean obviously they need to get developed, but like there's a lot more competition within the team. But at the Group of 5 level, like the MAC, I would say the starters are pretty much as good, maybe just a little bit worse in some positions. But the biggest thing is the depth. Like the MAC is good football. Like I was going against Rutgers defense my whole time there in practice and everything, and you don't really notice a huge drop off, to be honest with you.
Right.
So the starting lineups are pretty solid in the MAC.
Yeah. That's crazy to me. Yeah. I mean, like I played D2, and there's obviously like we had some studs. Like there's kids that transferred in from Temple, Notre Dame, like shit like that. But
Yeah.
then like some of these kids on the scout team, I'm like, how'd you even play high school football, dude? I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah. D1 is completely different from D2.
Yeah.
I'll say that on record for sure.
Yeah. And
It was
then
bad. Even D3 I see a lot of kids on D3, and like D3 has way more kids, right? Because they have the whole JV squad and stuff. D2 doesn't.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, D2 doesn't have a JV squad, so it's like D2 teams are a lot smaller, and I'm like, how are some of these kids on the team?
Right.
It's crazy.
No,
to
I
me.
feel you. I feel you there. But usually those guys are like the hardest working kids. In my
True.
case,
Yeah.
like in my experience, those guys are like work harder than anybody on the team.
Yeah.
Because they gotta prove.
Right.
Like you gotta like establish it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
they're
makes sense.
just like not naturally as gifted as a lot of the starters and stuff, but they work their ass off to get there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And then like the other thing is like especially with the transfer portal the way it is now, there's a lot of guys that don't get their shot, kind of like me at like the Power 5 level, who transfer down to a Group of 5 level, where like you're probably gonna play. Like for example, Justin Marshall, number 1 we had this year, was a transfer from Louisville. He had probably like less than 50 catches his whole career at Louisville. Was a 4-star in high school, I'm pretty sure. And just for whatever reason, it just didn't work out for him. And then he comes to Buffalo and tears it up. And I think I don't know how many yards he had, but he had a lot of yards, led our team in receiving, and had a bunch of touchdowns. So, like, you're getting a lot more guys like that. But then you're also getting guys that went to the MAC originally and then balled out, and now they can go up a level. So
Right.
it kind of works both ways.
A lot of room for movement in both ways.
it's crazy.
Okay.
Was there any delay when you transferred? Like, did you have to take any certain amount of time off? Because I know that happens when you transfer up and down, but I don't know if you just transfer from one D1 school to another.
So there's a one-time transfer rule that they put in, so anybody can transfer anywhere and be eligible immediately. And then if you transfer before you graduate, you'll have to sit out. But if you graduate, then you can transfer again. So you can transfer twice and play immediately if you graduate.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Random story. My freshman year, like first day of camp, we had like a 46-year-old dude. try to
46?
Try out and like try to play.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, he tried out on the team?
Yeah, he had like 1 year of eligibility left. He was 46 years old. He was a running back.
He didn't make the team?
Oh,
Ah, damn.
swear.
He actually tried?
Yeah, he did like conditioning tests and like everything. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So we had I think he was 30. His name is Damian Jackson. Have you guys heard of him?
That sounds so fucking
Does for
familiar.
some reason, but
So he was a Navy SEAL, and he transferred from Nebraska to Buffalo,
Okay.
and he was like 30 or 29 years old, and he played defensive end and was like a big special teamer for us. And like he was literally a Navy SEAL, and like just listening to him talk and tell these stories, it was crazy to have like that guy. Like he walked in the building and like he just had a presence about him. Like, and he doesn't talk much. Like if you asked him to come on the podcast, he'd probably be like, no.
Okay.
But like he just has such a presence about him. Like you can tell he's been through a lot and like so mature, and it was just cool to have him, and it was a different dynamic that I've never been a part of, that you have a 29 or 30-year-old on the same team as 17-year-olds.
Right.
So that's where college football is kind of crazy, you know?
That is cool. It's different. Like, but that also serves as like, I feel like that could benefit a lot of players on the team.
Yeah.
Like just like in lessons and stuff like that, and just learning and being around somebody like that, even if he doesn't talk much.
Right.
Because like honestly, my like first impression of you within the first hour of meeting you and knowing you, like you're pretty humble, and you seem like, I don't know how to word it, but a lot of college athletes that I have come in a mix with aren't as, you're very calm and mellow and humble, and you seem like you're pretty grateful. There's like, I don't know, it's not like I'm not every college athlete, no, but
Yeah.
there's a lot that just like shit, and you come in here, you're like, yeah, threw 3,000 yards. I'm one of the only few, you know what I mean? Like brag a lot.
Yeah.
But like you're just kind of just like, chilling, mellow, and I give you a lot of gratitude for that. It's
Appreciate
hard to be
that.
like that too, though, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of just like, I kind of know where like my purpose comes from. Like I know that God gave me these gifts. Like I like to say, everybody works hard. Like you think about like a custodian that cleans up after people, like they work hard. They go to work and they work really hard. I work really hard. You work really hard. Like everybody works really hard, but I feel like God just kind of blesses certain people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where it comes from.
Good. No, it's you don't usually hear a lot of young guy, 22 years old. I don't know. It's impressive. It is.
Yeah, it is. I was definitely.
No,
Yeah.
it actually really is. Like we're undershooting it here.
Yeah, I was not like that at 22. I'll tell you that much.
No, I've never really been like super like out there. Just kind of just
Not like a super big showboater.
yeah,
It's kind of
no,
like just do my thing.
yeah.
Shit, I'm here for a reason. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think of some stories when I was 22. I don't even want to talk about it, but
I can only
not
imagine
good.
you, buddy.
Because here's the thing: you said earlier, you're like, you said you have an addictive personality. Me too, but my issue is like I can't just sit down and have one beer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm having 20.
No, thank God I've been addicted to the right things. So
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I need to keep that going.
Is that
That's-
temptation hard sometimes?
Not really. I've never been I've never been like the go out and like party super hard. Like I just never been that type of person.
Okay.
I don't know why, but with my personality being so addictive, I don't know why.
Right.
But
it just seems like you got you have, and it's okay to have an addictive personality.
It's a good thing to have as long as you can control.
If you
it.
if you
Yeah.
can control it and know how to utilize it in the right aspect of things, because I feel like, all right, so first of all, quarterback is the position. I feel like that's just like the most popular. You talk to anybody, you say football. What is somebody thinking of? Tell me a position on a football team to the average citizen.
Right.
They're gonna say quarterback.
Quarterback,
right?
yeah.
Like you're the star. You know what I mean? Like and I feel like there's a lot of temptations involved with things like shit. I mean, I'm not relating you to him, but just look at like Johnny Manziel. And like we were talking about it earlier, you're like a lot of guys like Johnny's a whiny bitch, and like and it's the thing is like you got to like transition, like you were saying earlier, and like you're there, you got there, but you got to continue to be there, you know. And Johnny clearly couldn't, but but yeah, no, like I don't know, I feel like it's that and like wider.
Johnny got worse when the money came in too. I feel
Yeah.
like
Fuck yeah.
it just got worse and worse.
Money can do a lot of dangerous things.
yes, it can.
Yeah, it's a tempting
I feel like
avenue.
it doesn't change you though. It just
It magnifies who you are,
magnifies who you really are.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And money is a hell of a drug. It is. But like, I don't know. It is very impressive for you at your age and position that you're in to be like the way you are.
Appreciate
I
that.
am very
Agreed.
impressed, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
cool. Good for you.
So this year, 4,000 yards.
4,000 yards. That's the goal. MAC championship.
MAC championship.
Bowl
Okay.
championship.
Anything else?
Shoot, I want to go to the college football playoff, but but
There you go.
Hey,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. You never know.
We'll see. We'd probably put up a better fight than TCU. I'll say that.
Oh yeah. If you guys don't know, this is being filmed the day after the national championship game, where TCU just historically, no one will ever. Will anyone ever forget that game?
That's the worst blowout
worst
in
blowout
national
in history.
championship
That was
in a game.
ugly.
Yeah,
It was bad.
That was ugly. Like, I put on the first quarter. I started just not paying attention in a second, and then I looked up. It's halftime. I'm not watching this shit anymore. No. Mm-mm. You think you would have put up a better fight in TCU?
I mean, how many points did they score? 7?
7.
Kent State scored 21 on Georgia. So
Okay, so yeah, it's fair to say I think you.
I think all you have to do is score a touchdown and kick a field goal. You got to get the ball in plus territory twice, and you got a good shot.
What in your career? What's the biggest game you've played? Let's go arena wise. Like you were saying, you've played in front of 100,000.
Yeah, so the Big Ten conference is has a lot of great teams and great stadiums and great rivalries and stuff like that. So played in all the Big Ten stadiums, the Big Ten East. So I played Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan. Played in Syracuse. That was pretty cool. Who else? Played at Northwestern. So a lot of the Big Ten teams So the Horseshoe was really cool. I think the Big House, Michigan, was probably the coolest. But Beaver Stadium's really cool too, Penn State. And I think Penn State's probably the closest to my house. I live in Jamestown, New York, around there, Lakewood, New York. So Penn State's probably the closest. So I had some family always come to the Penn State game. So that was cool.
That's cool. Does crowd noise and stuff like that affect you personally? Your game, does that say you're away? Does that bother you? Get to you?
It's probably a lot nicer playing at UB.
Oh yeah, it's not nearly as loud as UB.
Yeah, right.
But when you had the only time it affects a team, I don't really think that rattles me. The only time it affects you is when you can't hear the snap count, or you're having trouble communicating the code to the O line or something.
Okay.
So when you're Sabre North to the O line, they're what? They're looking around. You got to go walk up and tell them, and you can't communicate clearly. And then the snap count, you're clapping, and they can't hear the clap. That's the only really time that it affects you.
Okay.
So
it's more of a technical thing. It's not the nerves don't build up in you or anything about that?
No, that's something you got to get used to, though. I didn't really play until my 3rd year in college. Excuse me. But, the crowd, it was cool. The first game that I traveled was in the Big House, and that was our 2nd or 3rd game of the year. And it was really like a video game. So when there's a big play happens, the crowd's silent, and then you can he catches the ball and he's and the crowd gets louder, and then when he's about to score, it's and it just keeps getting louder. It's it really is like a video game. So
That's cool.
that was pretty cool.
That is cool. It's got to be a surreal experience.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like once you get that first hit out of the way or something, you don't even think the crowd's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't even realize it.
Yeah. I would say the first year was kind of like a shock to me. You're literally just the whole dynamic of college football. You take a bus, a charter bus. We never had charter buses in high school. We were taking school buses to games. You take a charter bus to the airport. You fly to a game. You hop on a plane. I've flown I can count on 2 hands maybe before I went to college. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you fly to the game. You drive right on the runway.
Yeah.
And then you walk on the runway, just walk up to the plane. You walk through a little security thing, and you get on the plane. There's tons of food, Chick-fil-A on the plane. So just everything like that. You stay in a hotel a whole day before the game. The whole dynamic of playing a college football game is kind of crazy.
Right. I've always been dumbfounded by how the NFL does it too. I'm not too sure on how college does it, but it has to be relatively similar. You guys need to get back home, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've always been dumbfounded. They'll get done with their game. They got a certain amount of time to shower.
Yeah.
And just you're out. And then you're back in your city. If it's a 3-hour flight, you're back in your city 5 hours of the game. Not even.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Is that how it works in college?
Yeah, you literally just shower, get on the bus, drive to the airport, and go home. So, yeah, you're in your bed that night. So
How rough is that after a loss?
yeah, the plane ride home after a loss sucks for sure. Especially, I mean, it depends on how the loss was and everything like that. But usually, either win or loss, like guys are so tired after the game that there's not a ton of talking afterwards. Anyways.
That does make sense. Never really thought about it that way.
Yeah. So either it's like a bad mood on the plane or it's a good mood on the plane, but usually guys are sleeping or doing whatever.
Right. I was watching the Tampa Bay. Who were they playing? Tampa Bay and I don't know, the Packers this season. They played in Germany. No, not the Packers. Tampa Bay and somebody played in Germany. And I'm just thinking this whole time, I'm like, yo, these dudes gotta like it's like fourth quarter. It's like clearly it's over.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. I forget who they're playing, but like yo, they just know in their head right now they gotta get in a plane and take like a
fly across the world.
flight.
16 probably.
Like whatever it is. Like that's just like after a loss too. I'm like, what is that like?
Yeah.
That's gotta just suck.
I saw this story. I forget which NFL player it was, but he was a retired NFL player, and he said, like, I think he was talking about, like, Antonio Brown. Like, he used to just, like, light up on planes, like, just smoke weed on the
For real?
on the way back. And, like,
Well, I can see that,
guys would
yeah.
booze and, like.
Well, you saw this season, like they would give Kirk all the
Kirk
cheese,
Cousins,
and then like Justin Tucker was like he was like picking on Russell Wilson when they were leaving Denver. He's like, let's ride. I'm like, dude, like, are you kidding me?
The Commanders quarterback had his little trash can with his beer and stuff too. That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I
Heineke.
saw that.
They try to keep it down low, but social media is so much tougher now. Yeah, dude. Like I guarantee. Like there was a story this season who somebody was lighting up on a plane on the way back from like one of the foreign ones.
Oh, yeah.
One of the foreign games. Somebody was.
I didn't hear about that one.
Crazy. Anybody ever get caught with you guys doing shit on planes?
Say that again.
Any of your teammates ever get caught doing shit on planes on the way back?
I feel like college is different from the NFL
No.
when it comes to that aspect.
It is, but it isn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel like they're like, I feel like NFL players. And I don't know why there would be any watching, but if some see this, I no offense, but I just feel like they're like more entitled. NFL players, like, okay, like what are you gonna do? But like you in college, you have a lot to lose. I feel
Right.
if you get in like
Yeah, because you haven't made it to your goal yet, right?
Right.
Like your goal is the NFL. So like,
Right.
especially I feel like guys once they get there and they get paid millions of dollars, they're like, you have like a sense of security. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
That's like with the guys that I've been around. Like that's just how they kind of come off.
yeah,
Once they make it and they sign the contract, I kind of have a sense of security.
right. So who have you met throughout all this, so your journey through college and everything? Like you were just saying, guys you've been around and stuff like that. Who like made friends, just acquaintances, been in rooms with people?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of them have been my teammates. So like, the starting running back for the Chiefs went to Rutgers. I played with him for 3 years. Isaiah Pacheco.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So he was like a 7th round draft pick for them, and then he started out being their first string running back. So he balled out this year. So guys, Bo Melton is on Green Bay Packers right now.
Okay.
Trey Avery's a starting
Oh.
corner for the Titans. So, and there's other guys too. So just mostly my teammates, but
Right.
and then guys like Tyree Jackson that I've just been in contact with, and actually the Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni is actually he went to Southwestern. So I'm like family friends with them because my dad played for his dad. He was their head coach in high school.
Okay.
So
Don't you have some sort of relation with him?
Yeah. I always used to go to the clinic, the Sirianni clinic.
Oh, yeah.
at
Me too.
Southwestern. So
me too.
that's where I met Nick there. That was back when I think he was coaching for the Chargers. Back
Yep.
then. Like he was a wide receivers coach or something for the Chargers.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a good family, good guys. They know what they're doing,
For sure.
all of them. One thing I was gonna say earlier when we were talking about crowds. This is no shot at UB, but I've literally seen like WPIAL schools, like Western PA schools, that seat more than UB
Oh,
does.
the UB Stadium's awful.
That's crazy.
It's awful. And then you have the track going around the outside, so like the stands are.
It's got the track.
It's bad. That's probably the worst part about UB, honestly. The football field, like, yeah, not good at all.
See, I can't tell you the last time I was at a UB game, and now I gotta go.
Yeah, like the attendance is not great either. Like we don't get a ton of
Yeah.
people there at all.
I know, which kind of made me upset. Like, I remember when I was a kid and I went to my first UB game, I was like, oh, this is going to be sick. And it was just like,
Yeah, you loved
This
it.
fucking
You were
was-
saying that.
this fucking sucks. I was like, dude.
Roosevelt. You're like, I used to look up to you as like a superstar. I used to go to your college.
Yeah, dude. I was like a little kid, like probably 9 years old, 8 years old, and I used to like watch like Drew Willie, Naaman Roosevelt, like James Starks, all those guys.
I didn't even know he went to UB until this year.
James Starks?
Yeah, played for the Packers for a long time, right?
Yeah, and he's from Niagara Falls.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I learned that this
he
year.
won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Starting starting running back for the Packers and won
Yeah.
a Super Bowl. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
He balled out for like
For
a
a
few
while.
years.
Yeah.
And then just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
hey, he's got a Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
Fuck it,
He's
man,
got a Super Bowl.
whatever, yeah.
He's got a ring.
Endorsements now.
He's got a ring.
I remember I went to a UB game on a visit, and it was like one of the action games. So it was like midweek. So nobody goes to the midweek games. So I was like, yeah, this is not what I thought it was gonna be at
He
all.
comes on a visit. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It's like a midweek.
It was like a high school game. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I will say we played Ohio this year on a Tuesday, and they gave out a free tuition to like a couple students in the stands.
Really?
So they made them stay till like the third quarter and gave out the free tuition. And after they gave out the free tuition, everybody left. But there was a lot of people at the Ohio
So they're
game.
trying.
Yeah, no, they're trying to get people in the stands, and that was one way to do it for
We're
sure.
gonna have to go for sure. to
I feel like,
come
yeah, I'm down.
for sure.
I'll
Yeah.
get you guys some tickets if you guys need some tickets.
I feel like
Hey, I'll take it.
they're probably not very expensive, but
Whatever.
sounds good to me.
I'm with it.
I feel like you think Khalil Mack was the biggest name to ever come out of UB?
yeah, definitely. I think he was definitely a first round pick. I don't know what. I think he was like third round or number 3 pick in the draft or
I
something
can
like
find
that.
out real quick.
Yeah,
Look it up.
Google that. He was definitely in the first round though. Yeah, he's got to be the biggest name
Crazy.
for sure.
Yeah. He used to say Elmo's was his favorite spot, wing spot.
Elmo's. I'm a Barbell guy.
Hey,
Barbell Tavern.
What's
Come
your
on.
order? What's your order at Barbell?
I used to be a 20 wing guy, but I'm a 10 Cajun honey butter barbecue with beer battered fries. And I get the pizza logs with Cajun honey butter barbecue on them too.
Yeah, those are
That
good.
sounds good.
Yeah, those are fire.
I'm not gonna lie. I've lived in Buffalo my whole life.
You've never been to Barbell?
I went this past Saturday.
Wow.
First time ever.
That was your first time.
First time with Maximus. Dude, I was at dinner with Kelsey for her work, and he texted me. I'm like, yo, go to Barbell. I'll be there in like an hour. Like, it's like 2 minutes away from me. Sure, let's do
That's
it.
fine.
It was my first time.
What was Khalil?
Khalil Mack, 5th overall.
Fifth overall.
2014 draft.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, he's definitely the biggest name to come out of Buffalo for sure.
That's a pretty good pick. Yeah,
Fifth
I
overall.
feel like there's a lot of schools that don't even have like a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
It is. It's very impressive. Khalil Mack. No, because that would be dumb. You got anything else you want to talk about? Anything like that? We're at like an hour, a little over an hour.
That was a quick hour.
No, right? It always
quick
goes
hour.
that way.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get you before the season next year. We have to see what's changed.
When does
and what
camp
we're
start?
expecting.
Camp starts at the beginning of August.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we start with Wisconsin too, so that'll be a big game.
Okay.
Big game.
Okay. Cool. So,
Yeah.
Dope. Well,
fun.
we appreciate you coming on, man. We'll put your social down in the description.
Podcast coming soon.
Everybody go follow him.
Podcast coming soon.
If you got, especially if you got a kid that wants to be a quarterback.
Yeah. Anybody that needs quarterback training doesn't have to be a kid. I can train you if you want. Come
You wanna be a
out.
quarterback?
Come out.
Oh, dude, that'd be a good YouTube video. Just like
Oh my God, yes.
Can we do that?
Just shot-
Yes,
Can we
yes.
get?
Like,
Just
lock
shotgun
it.
like 12 beers and then just.
Lock
We'll
it.
take you guys in the field house too. Get you guys in the field house.
Lock it. Lock it.
You need to, yes, definitely.
I'm done.
Get you guys going through some ladders and cone drills and stuff. It'd be great. You can play
You're saying
receiver.
you guys.
You can catch for him. You can be a receiver. You run some routes.
Just dress ridiculous. Too. Just wear like crop tops and headbands.
I gotta start working out if we're gonna do that. Okay, damn. I'm really gonna start going and eating right now.
Good. I think you should do it. All right, bro. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, man.
Like,
Appreciate it.
comment, subscribe. Otherwise, you're a big fat pussy bitch.